Come on, Ace, give him some freaking gold.
Do not be an order taker. That's not what we need over here. You're selling time, not an automatic vacuum.
Selling the result.
What's more valuable, time or automatic vacuum with a clean house? As a leader, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to get in the mud for your people.
What do you think the number one reason most people never become top salesperson?
You answer that phone call, what do you think of? What do you think of when you take a call? Whatever you sell, that's how you should be selling. Not saying what would you like today, not saying what kind of watch you want today.
You're a killer. You get on the phones and just close deals.
You built a reputation around like hard work, holding people accountable.
If you're not overwhelmed,
You're doing something wrong.
You're never allowed to say it's a bad market, especially inside my studio.
I don't recruit these washed up old dogs that been doing this for 10 years because they don't got the drive in them anymore.
Dude, you sound like shit.
What is all the shit you do that nobody else does?
What can people do, businesses, to make more money in sales?
They could find something that they're passionate about selling and then sell the shit out of it. Because if they believe in it, then they can make others believe in it too.
So find something they're passionate about.
Yeah, because a lot of salespeople sell stuff that they're not passionate about, and then they're just working for a check, and then they don't sound enthusiastic because they're not enthusiastic about what they sell.
How do you get enthusiastic about a mortgage?
You learn that it's not about a mortgage. It's about cash. It's about dreams. It's about what the mortgage does for you.
I just want to refinance my house, bro.
Yeah, for what? Are you trying to save money monthly or are you trying to take cash out?
Lower my payment.
Lower your payment. And if
I got suckered in and now the rates are dropping.
Gotcha. Well, we'll definitely get you a lower rate.
You only date the rate.
Yeah, assuming we get you a lower interest rate, we save you some money monthly. What do you plan on doing with the savings?
Haven't figured that out.
Got it. Well, let's figure it out together here. Let's say we're saving $500-600 a month, an extra $7,000 a year.
What would I do with it?
Yeah, what does that look like to you?
So you're basically painting a picture and walking them through the future pacing?
Yeah, you're finding the pain and the pleasure. Same way you motivate people, right? You're motivating clients. I mean, I always say sales is the number one thing to make money. And then the trifecta of sales is selling cash. What better could you sell than cash instead of life? But you're not God, so you can't sell life. You could sell health, right? Better health, but you can't sell life. So I think cash is the number one seller.
What background are you? What's your nationality?
Lebanese.
Were you born and raised in the U.S.?
I came from Dubai when I was less than a year old.
So essentially you were born and raised here.
Yes, sir.
But is your family all Lebanese? And
yeah,
because I always find my ex-wife was Egyptian, and her brothers and all her relatives and a lot of the Arabs that I know, they're just constant freaking negotiators. Like, is that something that's born into the heritage?
Yeah, I think the hustle is born into the heritage.
Yeah, I mean, they had ice cream trucks and, you know.
I did the ice cream truck.
We're hustlers automatically, hardworking hustlers. Is that an Arab thing?
That is like, so Michigan, where I'm from, Dearborn is like the Arab capital. So like the ice cream trucks there are not normal ice cream trucks. They're like, they got bouncers on them and sound systems and slushies and nachos. And like each guy is trying to beat the next guy and pimp their truck a little more. So even they took the ice cream business to a whole nother level.
So if I'm an entrepreneur listening to this, okay, I want to know some secrets that most people are walking past where I can institute into my organization and make more money than I was before listening to you.
Yeah.
Come on, Ace, give them some freaking gold.
I talk about advising over selling. You know, I tell my guys, do not be an order taker, right? Or a telly at the bank. That's not what we need over here. Don't tell your client, what would you like today? 15-year, 30-year, how much cash? Pull up their fucking credit. That's the x-ray of their life. Look at the credit report. I'll tell you exactly what you need by looking at your credit. Figure out what they have in assets, figure out their dreams, and customize a solution and surprise them. So at my shop, they're not allowed to ask, what are you trying to get accomplished? They have to dig deep, figure out their life, and customize a solution. And for salespeople listening, that's very important. Whatever you sell, that's how you should be selling. Not saying, what would you like today? Not saying what kind of watch you want today. Why'd you come in for the watch? And why is that important to you? And how long haven't you had a watch in? And what's the first place you'd wear this watch if you got it? And then come in with a surprise element at the end. It's like, you know, one of the strong things I tell people, like, let's say me and you sold vacuums, right? What are you selling, Brad? If we sold automatic vacuums, what are you selling? How are you selling me an automatic vacuum?
By vacuuming your house?
No.
How?
You're selling me time, dude.
Why?
What time do I get back in my life by using your automatic vacuum? What's more important to Martha? Hey, Martha, you want an automatic vacuum that just rolls around and vacuums your house? It's going to be so clean. Or, hey, Martha, if you had an extra 2 hours every single day, what would you do with those 2 hours? Oh, I feel alive again. I'd start watching Netflix. I'd go to the gym. I'd look better for my husband. Now you're selling emotions in a dream. Like, what if I could get you 2 hours back in your day? You know what? I have this automatic vacuum. What if you don't have to vacuum anymore? So it's like you're selling time, not an automatic vacuum.
Selling the result.
Yeah. I mean, what's more valuable, time or automatic vacuum with a clean house?
Time.
What's more important, a mortgage or your dream?
Dream.
So people that are selling
Keep
something.
going. I don't think they get it.
They don't get it yet. What's more important?
What's more important, your life or your dog food?
What's more important, signing up for training or being financially free?
Financially free.
Okay.
But the signing up for training could also be a scam.
It's a scam if you have the person that's teaching it that's like, back in my day, here's how I used to sell. A lot of mortgage leaders and leaders in general are scared to get on the phones. I break headsets, dude. I take 10 headsets a day. I close half of the deals every single day in my company.
But you do it for fun almost. It's like a challenge, because I've seen your videos where like you want someone that can't close a deal to hand you the customer, and then you get on there, take control, paint the picture, close them down. I have one on YouTube called The Impossible Close. Did you ever watch it?
No.
It's this, I spent like an hour and a half closing this deal when, normally I wouldn't have done that, but I was on video and my guy was saying they're not buying no matter what. Yeah. I wanted to prove that, yes, they will if you close them.
Yeah.
So somewhere between taking an hour and a half when it was, probably just as easy to wait till follow up a week later. And a lot of people think, why wouldn't you just wait till Monday? Because time kills deals.
Yeah. And it keeps you relevant. And now your guys know, like, Brad closes deals instead of them saying like, yeah, Brad, this guy will never get on the phone. He won't close. Like, he expects us to do this, but he doesn't. Like, no, as a leader, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to get in the mud for your people. So I do it, number one, to stay relevant. How am I going to train you if I'm not selling? You're dealing with a coach that's selling and closing every single day. As a matter of fact, on my live calls, I say, give me your client right now and I'll call him on speaker. I don't give a fuck what it is. So I'm always selling. And number two, you get buy-in, because you got a fearless leader, they're going to follow them. And a lot of leaders are like, they stay in their office, they got tinted windows. It's a new thing now. There's tinted windows in offices. Like, you're tinting your window. You're like, dude, you didn't even want to see your people, and it's like, you want to see your people. My desk half the time, and I got a beautiful office, and I'm sitting on the floor. I'm sitting in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the action. I'm selling on a speaker and I got a mic like this. People get annoyed. I'm like, just shut up and listen. You're going to hear something that you could take in. We don't play music. We play call clips all day. So there's live calls playing, so I could always hear what's going on, right? So it's like all these small things. Anyone that's virtual is on the screen with a mic on, hot mic, and a speaker. So all my virtual people are on the TV on the wall. And that's how we're building a virtual channel as well. So,
how'd you figure out how to start making money before that?
So I think it comes from two places. It's pleasure or pain, having a tougher childhood, seeing my parents work hard, come here not knowing English, and then that drove me to work very hard, not having everything I wanted. So I think there was always pain in the back. Like, I don't want to go back to that. Don't want my kids to have that. I want my family to be, free. Then you run towards pleasure, which is, financial freedom, being able to get in a plane. I come to this office right here, one of my favorite offices I've ever seen, this HQ. Like, I want an HQ like this. Like, that's in the forefront of my mind. I also don't want to be broke and don't want to struggle and don't want to worry about money. So that's always in the top of my mind. And you got to keep that in the forefront of your mind. So I think that was a gateway, is purpose and drive. But people say they have purpose and drive, and then they come in and they're like,
fuck this client. It was a shitty call.
And then they walk out early, and then it's like, you don't have purpose or drive, dude. Like, you come out here and like, I look at your eyes, you don't got purpose and drive. Like, when somebody has purpose and drive, you look in their eyes, you're like, that's a fucking killer right there.
How do you train that?
How do you train that? Like, look, you could, spark a flame, but you can't light the fire under somebody's ass. They got to fucking wake up in the morning and know what they want and get to it and then act on what they want. Meaning, if what you want is up here, then all the bullshit should be down here. But if your life, all the bullshit is up here and what you want is down here, then. Like, if you're letting all this small shit phase you, then your why and your purpose doesn't weigh that much. So put it on a weight scale. What are your actions and your behavior every single day? And then how much are you driving towards your why and your purpose?
So fitness is an example.
Yeah.
If you're a fat dude, you obviously don't want it very bad, because it is not that difficult to get in shape. Like, how to get in shape. It's mentally, I think, tougher than physical.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've went 3 weeks procrastinating. Oh, I'm going to start the gym again.
Yeah.
And, 3 weeks go by and you realize, dude, that was 3 weeks. If I'd have just started 3 weeks ago, I'd be looking good by now.
Yeah.
But then 3 more weeks go by. Why do you think people keep pushing off the inevitable? Or what you just said is because they really don't want to be in shape. They just claim to.
Well, they want the fast food and everything else more than they want to be in shape. They want the comfort more. So it's not that important to them. I'll ask you, because last time I came and did a Dropping Bombs episode, you probably had extra 30, 40 pounds on you. And
it wasn't 30, 40. It wasn't that much. Success waits for the individual to become the person success arrives for.
What do you think the number one reason most people never become top salesperson?
so for me, because I got asked that question a lot, of course, a new guy coming in, people are like shaking their heads. Who is this guy? How's he number one? He's only been here for 3 months. I didn't even know how to spell mortgage. By the time I got there, I didn't know anything about mortgages. And for me, it was because I built a company for 10 years and it was so difficult. My number one thing building that company was the resources. At first I called them employees. I learned from this company that they're team members. They shouldn't even be called employees. They don't go by that. But we had paper receipts and we had shitty vans we'd buy off Craigslist because that's all we could afford when I was building this distribution company. The vans would break down. The employees at the time, which now I call team members, they wanted new vans. So we'd get Sprinter vans for them. Then they said, we don't want paper. We want iPads. We got iPads for them. We want a nice printer. We got them printers. We want uniforms. We got them uniforms. They wanted to get more motivated. We took them on trips. So the issue with this business and the reason why I sold it is because the bigger we grew, the more overhead we incurred. We realized at a certain point, the more we're growing, it's just sucking in all the profits that weren't coming in. So that's why we sold the company. When I went to this large financial institution, it was amazing because the resources were endless. Anything you need, you got it. And I went in there and my first check was like $23,000. It was half a month. My second check was close to $30,000. And I'll never forget, one of the vice presidents came out to me, tapped me on my shoulder. I was there at 7:30 a.m. preparing for my day while the office was empty because that's the kind of hunger I had. I'll never forget the day I seen that deposit go in. That changed me forever. And I was just saying, because that was the reason why I did well, because I was like a dog in a cage trying to build a company and not make what I was worth for 10 years. And I finally went there within a couple of months. I'm making this. And I'm like, just get out of my way. This is too good to be true. Let me run. And I ran for a good year and a half. I actually got invited to the award ceremony every single month with all the leaders because they used to invite the top banker with all the leaders. And as a senior leader, I got known as the guy, which this is what created the academy and the urge to sell and teach and inspire and impact the world. There was somebody who was a close friend of mine, grew up in the same neighborhood, told him to get a job there, actually referred him in. He was struggling. He was never a great salesperson or a great communicator. He was more of a guy, plays Madden at home, simple guy. His family got good wealth, But he was really struggling there. And he already gave up on everything, college, nursing, to go there. So it was my responsibility because his parents know me as well. And he wasn't in my region, but I was a leader at the time. And he was on something called a production letter. Production letter happens when you don't hit your goals. You're like bottom 20% for 3 months. And they put him with different directors to try to help him. Nobody could help him. It was his last month. And his leader, who I also knew, I went and talked to him. I said, hey, please, it's his last month. Let me get one shot with him. He looked me in the eyes. He said, Alex, there's no way, man. He's like, we tried everything. Just let this one go. Let him go be happy somewhere else. He was tearing in the office. He said, please, one more chance. Let me go to his team. He went to my team. And the story actually makes me emotional because it's the reason I do what I do. But after 2 months, I had his best month ever, made his first $10,000. Then made his first $15,000, then made his first $20,000, then got promoted to senior banker, executive banker, President's Club banker, and now he's a director of mortgage banking running a sales team. And this is a guy that was on his last leg. After this happened, it was an aha moment because I asked him, I said, what's the difference? You had all these leaders. They all taught you. You did trainings. You stayed till 12 at night trying to sell. What was the difference? I said, the way you broke it down. Nobody broke it down like you. It was just simple, easy to understand. You made me remember it. You automated it for me. So I'm just very good at breaking things down and making them digestible for somebody to understand. So after that happened, I was known as the guy hey, if somebody's on their last leg, send them to Alex Sharafuddin.
What was the first thing you got him to understand?
How to make somebody like you.
So how'd you do that? How to win friends, influence people?
To show his personality more on the call. Stop being so focused. Stop thinking of the overall scheme, of what I have to do, how I'm going to close. I said, have a conversation, man. You're the coolest guy. You make everybody laugh. You got a hot chick. You've always been known as a popular guy. Why aren't you showing that on the phones? And he wasn't. He was so tense and I'm going to get fired and I got to hit my
professional.
goal. he was just thinking about too much. I had made him let go of everything and just be yourself. You know what he started doing? He started talking about football for half an hour. And then at the end, he'd be like, oh, I got your mortgage. You present it to him. But the whole time they're talking about the St. Louis Rams, which was his favorite team when they were called that back in the day. So he started doing that. He started talking to people. This guy started getting keychains from clients in Hawaii saying, thank you, Adam. We love you so much. You know, gifts from his clients. He just became the most likable guy because he started building relationships instead of selling. When I got in the mortgage world, I learned that experience made me who I was, and I was appreciative of it.
Well, sure. That experience is going to make you millions throughout your lifetime.
Exactly.
If everybody just figured out that sales is all they have to master to be, 99% of the way home. Because ultimately, if you know how to close, persuade, and sell, you can get hired at any time. You can start a business damn near any time. You become valuable, real valuable.
Step number one would always be your purpose in your mind and why you're doing it all for. Like one thing I teach people, specifically bankers, is like when you're on the phone with somebody, when you answer that phone call, what do you think of? What do you think of when you take a call? And a lot of them, you know what they think of? Oh, it's going to be a hang up. Oh, who is it now? Oh, God, I got to write this many loans today. I'm like, that's not what you should think about. I'm like, you know what I think about when I take a call? My son, my wife, my mom and dad, the house, the bills. When I'm thinking about all that, why the hell would I be thinking about a hang up or anything negative? I only have one option, that's to succeed. In order for me to succeed, I got to be connected to my purpose and my vision. How do you make that throughout your day so it's memorable? And in the course that I just, shot here, I teach that. I teach little hacks you could do throughout the day. What do you put on your desk? What do you surround yourself with? How do you start off your mornings? How do you end your day? What do you do at lunch? What do you do to take a break? How do you prime your mind to be successful at all times? How do you prime your mind to think about your why throughout everything else you do? Because if you're thinking about your kids and your bills and your dreams, you're not going to be negative. You can't be.
So step one would be figure out what your why is.
Figure out your why and your purpose. Everybody says, okay, I know my why and my purpose, but how's that going to help? Okay, well, figure out how to connect your why and your purpose to everything you do. How could you engrave it in your mind so you think about it throughout the day, through all your actions? Right now with you, I could be nervous, I could stutter, I could mess up, I could not be confident. But no, I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my dreams. I'm thinking about everything I've ever done. I haven't always had success, but when I wanted success, all I thought about was having success. So nothing else got in the way. So when you figure out your why and your purpose, what do you do with it? Do you put a photo on your desk and look at it before you take a phone call? Do you write down your goals and a gratitude list every morning? Do you call somebody when you're upset or negative and say, hey, I'm upset or negative? Could you get me back in the zone?
Now, what if someone's listening saying, no, I don't do any of those things?
Start with a simple thing. Put some things around your desk that remind you of your purpose and your why, and then put them in your car, and then put them by your bed. If you wake up and you see a picture of your dream, you go to your desk, you see a picture of your dream. You go to your car, you see a picture of your dream. You go to sleep, you see a picture of your dream. Guess what happens after a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, 4 months? That dream's engraved in your mind. Like everybody has dreams, but who engraves them in their mind and accomplishes them? So I'd say suffocate yourself with your why and your purpose. That's the first step.
Put out a bunch of reminders of some kind.
Yeah, reminders, hacks.
Like if you want a Ferrari, a picture of a Ferrari.
Correct. I know you talk about visualization. That's extremely important. If you visualize every single morning when you wake up, that could be a small hack.
What about becoming likable?
Becoming likable. Yeah, figuring out how to make somebody like you, showing your true personality. Why do you stand out? Every human's unique. How do you show that uniqueness on the phone? So first, I walk them through how to figure out what their uniqueness is, and then I teach them how to show it on the phone. And I do that by showing them how to share commonalities with somebody, how to dig deep. We call it like open doors, smashing moles. We have all these terms in this course.
Smashing moles?
Yeah, smashing moles, opening doors.
So if I was
cracking the egg, riding the wave, we have all these terms in this course. But that's how I made people understand it, because they're like, this is cool. I just went to this guy's training. It's called the 8 Mile training, and he was playing Eminem scene when we walked in. And that was like my training for objections, how it started, because I simplified things and gamified them. Pretty soon, the whole office was swinging their hands in the air and just playing this game while they're on the phone and having fun with it. And guess what happened? They started pulling more credit reports because it was a game, it was fun, and you practiced it. So when a client said, I don't have time, the light bulb lit. We just did that an hour ago on the training. They knew exactly what to say. And then after a couple of weeks, they're just experts at pulling credit at 60, 70%, So those are some examples, but there's a lot of that in this course. A lot of games, a lot of simplifying, a lot of making things easy, digestible, and automated for you to do.